than it does to journalists, and it needs to stop. Yesterday, we received a statement that has been put out by the Ministry of National Security, signed by the minister himself.
Yeah.
And this is what it says.
It says the investigation committee was set up by the Ministry of National Security to investigate a report of arrest of Mr. Caleb Kuda of City FM on May 11, 2021. The committee established that the conduct of Lieutenant Colonel Frank Ajekum, Director of Operations, and some police officers of the ministry on the said day was inappropriate and contravened the ministry's standard operating procedures. The committee also established that the journalist's unauthorized entry into the premises of the Ministry of National Security was unlawful. The following action has thus been taken by the ministry. The secondment of Lieutenant Colonel Frank Ajeman, Director of Operations at the ministry, has been reversed. The officer is to report to the Chief of Defense Staff for further investigation and appropriate action. The 3 police officers involved have been withdrawn and are to report to the Ghana Police Service for investigation and disciplinary action. It also moved on to say that the Ministry of National Security wishes to assure the general public, and particularly all media practitioners, that the ministry will expeditiously investigate any complaints against any personnel of its agencies. The tenets of national security in Ghana should be based on a whole of government and a whole of society approach and cooperation from all well-meaning Ghanaians. The ministry assures the general public that measures continue to be taken to ensure the highest professional standards to engender public trust. And it ends there.
Mm-hmm. Signed by the minister.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, one of the voices that has been advocating the cessation of violence against journalists is Ken Ashigbe. He joins us now. Mr. Ashigbe, good morning to you.
Good morning, Kojo. I'm not too sure what I did to earn a misspell, so Ken Ashigbe is fine.
Oh, actually, you're a doctor, aren't you? Yes, forgive me. Forgive me, so sorry.
To school to go and get.
Engineer Ken Ashigbe, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, so you've heard the statement. Your thoughts?
I've heard you read it. I should think this is about one of the very first incidents that have happened, and we've had national security issue a statement very quickly. So I think congratulations to the likes of Joy FM and other media houses that have decided that enough is enough, and we were going to get to the bottom of it. However, the length of the statement and the items in it leaves quite a bit to be desired. So I would want to think that there should be a preliminary, statement, because just recalling, okay, so he's been recalled for further investigations. I'm hoping that we will be kept apprised of what happened to that investigation so far as the Lieutenant Colonel. And the Lieutenant Colonel is a very senior military officer. For him to have supervised this is very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate to say the least. Then you also come to 3 policemen who have gone to the IGP for further action to be taken. But if I recall, in the picture that we saw at CTFM, there were about 7 policemen who were involved in this. And there was no mention of, what had happened at CTFM itself in the statement. Mm-hmm. And so, well, in as much as we would want to thank Honorable Kandapa for a quick, statement, it leaves a lot more. There's a lot of questions that begs, answering. And I am hoping that the media would not be satisfied with this, but we really push. The same way that they've mentioned the Lieutenant Colonel's name, we want to hear, the policemen who are involved. Is DSC Azugu part of these 3 policemen who did not behave well? So there's a lot more that has to be done. What about the issues that have been raised in terms of national security and the keeping of the SWAT and other forces that are in place. So I hope, and that's why I'll go back again and say, I hope this is a preliminary investigation, and then we are being given this information, and a lot more information is going to come. So it is very, very important that we would, as the media, we continue to push and get some results. What has happened to the gentleman too at Sankregwa? What's the situation with that case? What is the situation with the modern that media house that was the gentleman
Modern
who was
Ghana.
also exactly? So there's still a lot that we need answers to, and so it is very important that we interrogate this statement and then speak to the powers that be. Honorable Kandapa is a fine gentleman. He should be able to give us a lot more information than this, but maybe we'll definitely have to give them that at least radio gets resolved. We've seen a statement come, but it definitely has to be preliminary. When I was told by Winston that the statement, I was really eager to read it. But when I saw it, the length of it and then the content left me yearning for more. I thought there was going to be something more after it.
Now, regarding the first point you made, that you're hoping that national security will keep us in the loop of the further actions that are taken against those that they've identified. I'm wondering, should we also be putting pressure on the institutions from where these individuals came? So the military has now been asked to take over and investigate and discipline the lieutenant colonel. The police have been asked to take over and investigate the police officers. So should we rather be putting the pressure on them to give us details of the investigation? Is it still something we should demand from national security?
I think it should be the national security and these institutions as well. Definitely, there are a lot of questions that we need to be asking national security, and I'm supposing that as they have passed this on to the police and the military high command, they will be expecting responses from them. But also, the police and the military, the armed forces are all, organs of the state, and they owe it, a duty to the people in which sovereignty resides, the people of Ghana, to give us answers. And I think definitely the media should be asking questions of them. The unfortunate thing is that we just know of three police people. Who are these policemen? Are they also officers? Is GSC Asugu part of these three people? We know a few names that were mentioned. There was some praise that all of them mentioned. Are they part of these people? So we need some answers from national security and the three institutions that have been named. And we need to get to the bottom of it. And we should also bear in mind, this is not just about Caleb. There are other cases that have happened. And we should be asking, is the reason why national security still has answers to give to us? That's Sankregwa case. What is happening to that? The case of the modern, I don't know why the last law is
Modern Ghana, yeah.
Modern Ghana. Also, we need to ask questions. And this is a very recent one, the very untidy, change of guards in the Ashanti region. That also involves the national security. We need answers. So it is, and I think I like the position that, the SMS are taking, that we would stay with this till we get answers. We've gotten a bit of the, of the answers beginning to come, but we should not leave it. We should, even as we go to other things, we should stay with this so we ensure that no Ghanaian would be abused, whether a journalist or an individual citizen would be abused. The national security would do the things that they ought to do, so that when we are told that the military high command has counted 700 excavators coming out of the Tiwa forest, you hope the national security will go in and find out who are the owners of these excavators. What have they been doing? Get satellite imagery that tells us that these people have actually been in the theater of some illegality and be arresting them. We want to see some high-powered intelligence work that results in positive impact on our country, not the abuse of people, journalists who are doing their jobs, or citizens who are going by their duty. So we would have to push national security to ensure that this stops, and then the civilian part of national security really have total control of what happens and not have the likes of Lieutenant Colonel Ajiman, misbehave like the way we saw.
Now, I know that obviously we want brutality against all citizens to stop, but you have a specific focus or a further focus on the media, and you remind everybody that journalism is not a crime.
Yes.
Now, if let's assume that you were hired by the National Security Ministry to bring about some change in their operations to ensure that journalists are never treated this way by national security operatives again, what would your recommendations be?
I think the first thing I would say is that we need to elevate the work of national security, so that we need to make sure that people who are there are people who are doing some very highbrow work. So I am of the school of thought that all these security, police, health, and things that they keep in there should be a complete separation. So our national security does the work that we know them to do, and so that they can leave the issues of, the police work, the military work, the law enforcement work for these people. And then the other thing that they need to do, there's some very fine people in there. I think there should be a lot of engagement between the national security and, the media, so that we can build trust among each other and realize the fact that the work we do is complementary to safeguarding the security of this country, being able to harness the potential of this country to be able to deliver on the developmental goals that we have. So I think at the very, my disappointment in this particular case is that it involves a very high officer, a lieutenant colonel, who, these people, we expect more of them. So, so it means that we need to complete detachment of these people who really do not have any part to play, so far if you take the national security law into consideration, and let them focus on what it is that is their duty. And so that in that conversation about the safety and security of journalists, it's not just the issue of national security, but even the police. So if you look at Latif's case, for example, that should not have happened. That, a journalist who's been helping the police do their work, he should not have the abuse of journalists. So we need to get to the point where the forces, the police, and media, we build bridges, get an understanding of the fact that we also have a role to play. The Constitution has given us a clear mandate to hold leadership account. So they might not like what we say, they might not like what we do, but definitely that is our duty to do. They also have a role to play given to them by the same Constitution. So we need to start getting to a point where we need to all collaborate. And we should get to the point where if we flout the law should be used to be able to get redress. The same way when they also flout the law should be seen to be used to seek redress. So where this antagonism comes in, should not happen. I mean, the natural thing that should have been happening, national security should have been interested in the story Caleb wanted to do and be collaborating with them to rather do that than rather be the people who are preventing these things from happening. So I think that beyond all of this, when we have gotten our answers, there should be a deliberate sitting down with the various security forces and be able to forge that understanding of the work that we do and how we ought to do it. The military high command, the last time we went there, told us that this is one of the actions that they want to take. We welcome that. But another thing that also has to happen is, and that has begun with what Honorable Kandapa has done, transparency when it comes to the investigations of these things. Because most of the time, they tell you that they are going to investigate these things. And it's a charade. It's basically putting, a Chinese war around the case so that you don't get to the middle of that. So we need to get to the point when any of these national security people and the forces have flouted the law or alleged to have flouted the law, we should have an investigation go into it. If the people are innocent, they should be declared as being innocent. But if there's something that has gone wrong with it, it should be exposed, and the media should be able to report it. That is what I would want to say, and I'm hoping that out of this, at least we will have a Caleb Zoe, document coming out that, lays out the way the media and national security and other security forces are supposed to relate, so that we'll be able to build a better Ghana where journalism is not a crime, where when you are a journalist and you're doing your job and you go wrong, the same way when lawyers go wrong, the same way when politicians go wrong, the same way when engineers go wrong, nobody takes a cudgel goes to beat them up. The same way when a journalist is doing his job and you think that he's done wrong, and after all, in Ghana, you are innocent until proven guilty. You didn't go by the laws of this country to be able to ensure that whichever journalist or media practitioner you thought had flouted the law, you have a way of dealing with that.
Now you said that national security should be interested in the story that Caleb was doing, for instance, but they've indicated in the statement that the committee also established that the journalist unauthorized entry into the premises of the Ministry of National Security was unlawful. What's your reaction to that?
Well, you see, that's also very tough. But definitely, if you go into somebody's premises without, permission, you could be trespassing. So that could be it. But what is it that the person went there to do? So sometimes, we need to look beyond just the fact that he had stepped in there without permission. Because, as been said, and I remember Samsoladi said that I think a lawyer in court asked him how do they expect that the journalist was going to be able to find out the wrong that was being done, if the wrong was being hidden behind the gates of national security. How you're definitely not going to be allowed in to come and do that. So we get to a point where we know that there's that trust established between journalists and the media, such that if there was a case like that, and we went to Honorable Kandapa, he would give us access to be able to look at that. If that does not happen, definitely we'll have to find ways in which, some of these stories would have to come. And so far as it's happened in court and the lawyer and the judge has made a pronouncement like that, that's precedent being set. That become part of our law. If really they say it was unlawful, well, they should take Caleb to court and let's see what happens out of that.
Okay. Ken Ashigwe, in fact, Engineer Ken Ashigwe, thank you very much for your time with us this morning. Oh, the line is breaking, Ken. We can't hear you very clearly. Hello? Oh no, I think we may have lost Ken Ashigwe. But I think we've grasped the thrust of his submissions. He has been speaking. He's been a very loud voice, campaigning against violence that is meted out to journalists. All right. Well, let's now progress from this, because we, of course, have had this campaign going for some time now, some days now. It is a campaign against brutality at the hands of national security. Now, we've been thinking about the fact that this is not new. Yeah. And the last time something official was done with the aim of addressing this issue was during the Ayawaso West Wogon Commission of Inquiry and the work that they did. Let's remind ourselves of that.
You kill a man in his own house.
Now, I have some eyewitnesses here, and let me engage you. Boss, were you here when the shooting began?
Oh, yes, actually, I was here. I saw everything that really happened. And I was so surprised. The attitude had left me flabbergasted. Boss, when they were coming, actually, there's one soldier man followed them. The man told them that they shouldn't come here. They are invisible forces. The man told them they shouldn't come here. But they had the audacity, the impetus to come to somebody's house. Yeah, it's not a police station. Do you understand? Yeah. Yeah, it's not a police station. Do you understand? So what the guy was saying, we told them that they shouldn't come here. But when they come, because they know what they are doing, yes, of course.
So do you agree with your leadership that you are no more participating?
Oh, yes, of course. Totally agree. We're not going to vote.
People have been injured, some have been killed. Honorable member of parliament, city member of parliament, was beaten like dog on the ground. It took a swift intervention, one of the police officers, Mr. Appiah. Why are you going for war? In 2016, we have that capacity to do what they did in 2016. As much as we love our country, we maintain peace. But if this is the way they are going to go, we are prepared. Trust me. We are not going to take the words of any police officer. Because, my brother, the police officers were here when the shooting was ongoing. There were police officers here. And listen to me. If the police have no knowledge about this, those vagabonds drove in police official Mohawk. Somebody somewhere know what he or she is doing. But I think the leadership, my party leadership, have taken a clean decision.
And they support that.
We are boycotting. Do you want us to go on? Do you know the outcome? By the time it's noon, do you know how many people will die?
Joy 99.7 FM.
Mission that you, as the commander of the day and present at the scene, did not see anything?
Oh, my lord, I'm saying that even the video confirms it, my lord.
No, I want you to tell me.
Yes,
what do you say? Forget about videos. Let's stay with you. You are the commander of the SWAT team. On the day you were present,
yes,
DSP, how did your men handle these citizens of Ghana?
It was not in the proper manner. They did not handle them in a professional way, the way they were taught to.
And by not handling them in a professional manner, what exactly are you saying? We need to know as a commission.
Based on that, we have initiated disciplinary action.
DSP, since you are struggling to tell us, let me help you.
Yes, my lord.
Did your men beat these people up?
No, sir. Their idea of minimum force that we saw on TV was, too much for all of us.
DSP,
they were trying to
DSP,
minimum force to subdue them.
Before you go on, please, let me remind you of your oath.
Yes, my lord.
Okay. We are not here to persecute anybody.
Yes, my lord.
The commission needs to get to the bottom of this.
Yes, my lord.
And we want you, as I told you, to be as candid as possible.
Yes, my lord.
Please.
Yes, my lord.
Tell the commission, what exactly did your men do to these people?
My lord, as I stated already, when the 9 persons were arrested, some of them surrendered peacefully and were taken to the vehicle, but some decided to run away from lawful arrests. And the boys pounced on them. And in the mood and the way they were handled, that's why I'm saying that it amounted to a subject of action against. And all this while there was gunfire. There was gunfire. And at that particular moment, my concern was for the Honorable MP, because I could not see him again. I only saw him also moving towards that direction. But from there, I did not see him again. So I was worried. I said, what is going on? Because he can be hit by any, friendly bullet or anybody at all can cause harm to him. And this will be a problem on security. So we decided, I asked the boys to arrest those who could not enter the compound and were trying to escape and run away. So we managed to arrest 9 of them for them to help investigators to establish why that action. And some of them surrendered and they were taken to the vehicles. But some on their way decided to, run away, decided to put up resistance to their arrest. So they managed to, shrug off the security men, they decided to run, and the security men pounced on them. And that one, I agree that on that one, my boys overreacted when they were re-arresting them. Then they put them, I made sure that they were arrested and we put them in the vehicles.
Commission needs to get to the bottom of this.
Yes, my lord.
And we want you, as I told you, to be as candid as possible.
Yes, my lord.
Please.
Yes, my lord.
Tell the commission, what exactly did your men do to these people?
My lord, as I stated already, when the 9 persons were arrested, some of them surrendered peacefully and were taken to the vehicle, but some decided to run away from lawful arrests, and the boys pounced on them.
Joy 99.7 FM.
So the familiar voice there of ASP, right?
DSP.
DSP Azugu, Kojo Azugu.
Yeah.
Who has remained at National Security. And while he has remained at National Security, this has happened.
They took me to see Azugu. I showed him my ID card. He said, "Where are you from?" I said, "City." "Who do you know?" I said, "Richard Mensah." Then he called Richard. I didn't even give Richard's number. He called OJ. And so by the time he spoke to OJ, in my mind, then it was going to be sorted. By this time, they had taken my phone and they were looking through my chats. And they found out that I had sent photos to Zoe. That is when the gentleman started chatting Zoe as though I was the one talking to him. So around this time, they said, "Take a statement." They pushed me, I sat on a chair, they slapped me from the back, and they were...
Which of the people are you talking about?
The police officers. These are men in uniform. Some were bearded, they had guns.
Did you see any names?
Masks. Unfortunately, no, but I heard names like Osei and Owusu. Those are the names that I heard. So then...
And this is still in the small office?
This is still in the small office, very close
Azugu's
to
office, near the mango
office.
tree?
Yes.
Did you speak to Azugu?
Yeah, after he spoke to OJ, he didn't deal with me much. He was very angry because the guy had really, really worked him up, and he was so sure that I was just there to cause mayhem for them.
Do you know what the gentleman told them? Did he tell them you were reporting or you were broadcasting or just filming?
He told them that I had come there to film the national security installation and some other things, which, in all sincerity, I didn't do.
It was the cars that you had come to take.
So you know, if you are taking the pictures secretly, you are not watching. It's later when you finish that you pay attention
and see
to
which ones you took.
So if mistakenly I have taken any of the national security buildings, that was not even my job. And I tried to explain to them, but still they wouldn't listen. Then along the line, they called somebody captain or something. He came in some green jacket, pink shirt. He looked very civil and nice. So I tried to talk to him, that boss, please help me. By this time, they had taken me out. We were under a mango tree. They had taken me out. We were under a mango tree. When I saw it, I tried to, immediately he said I should kneel down. And then he kicked me. So I'm told.
This person is not in military uniform.
He's not in police uniform. He looks very dapper.
He's wearing green.
Yes.
Do you know his name?
Pink shirt. What could his name be? Yes, Ajiman.
They called him Ajiman?
They called him Ajiman.
And so when he came, you were trying to appeal to him?
I was trying to appeal to him. I said, they have beaten me enough. Like, I beg you. Like, just let me go. At least they have deleted the thing. Because he asked me to kneel down, and I'm told he's there, he kicked me. You can imagine where his feet landed.
He kicked you in the groin?
Yes.
At this point, did you fall?
I was
you already knelt?
I was already kneeling, so I was dusty and all. So by the time he gave them instruction, when we're going back to where Azugu was, the boy said, Captain Kasasi Mburu, and then
we went to National Security Ministry, or the place they were, to try and actually find out. Then we met Azugu.
Yeah.
He said he had asked his people to come to pick up Zoe as part of their investigation. To be fair, our meeting with Azugu was very cordial.
Okay.
He said, so he complained about what our journalists had done. And we also complained about the manner in which the people had come to do what they did.
Yeah.
Because it was very scary and needlessly hostile.
Yeah.
So we complained to him. We spent a few minutes with him because Samens and myself made the point that, well, we didn't even know Caleb was here. So it wasn't as if he had come to do a journalistic story or whatever. But we were saying that the way the people came was not the best. So I think we spoke about it, and they said, okay, they would need Zoe's phone and they needed to answer a couple of questions to establish whatever they wanted to establish.
Yeah. So DSP Azugu, front and center of the recent attack on Caleb Kuda. Now, we've heard details of the role he played in all of this. And it just casts our minds back to the last time national security was a national issue. And it was during the Ayawaso West Wuogon Commission hearings. Now, they made a number of recommendations. Before we zoom in on the ones that were specifically to do with national security, maybe we can get an overview, Raymond, of these recommendations and what we know about them. Which ones have we been able to verify, and so forth?
So, generally, there were 30 specific ones. Some for institutional, others for structural, others also for individuals, and also general recommendations were given. That's all together. But we narrowed in on the ones that government accepted, because clearly that's what looks like it will be implemented. Government accepted 18 of the 30 specific ones. Then out of the 18, there were 5 that we are still yet to hear from officialdom on that, because it has clearly to do with institutional changes that nobody from outside can verify without them giving an indication. The rest we've been able to verify to the best of our appreciation and capabilities. Now, yes, because you started with Azugu, let me go to that point. The report in 8.33 said, that's the Ayawaso West Wuogon Commission report, it recommended that the immediate removal of DSP Samuel Kojo Azugu from command responsibility at the Ministry of National Security, given his failure to command appropriately and control the SWAT team of which he had charge during the operation at the Labalishu School, at the police station there. And it is recommended that the IGP does the reassigning of this particular gentleman. Now, this was what the white paper said. The government took note of this recommendation and referred the recommendation to the IGP for his consideration. But as the events turned out, we realized that DSP Azugu is still very large and in charge at the national security, and admits to being the man who sent the team to raid the CTFM office in pursuit of the young lady they suspect to have some information that they are interested in.
Zoe Abubedu.
Yes. Now, that's not the only individual liability recommendation that they actually put out. They also talked about the criminal prosecution of Ernest Akomia, also known as Double, for the unauthorized possession of firearms under Section 1921 of the Criminal Offences Act.
This was also accepted by government?
Yes, and in fact, the exact wording that he used was that it has taken note of this recommendation and referred that recommendation to the CID for further investigation. We understand no criminal charges have been leveled against Mr. Ernest Akomia Double for that particular unauthorized possession. Now, if you stay within
how many years now
remit, this is almost more than a year, because
Okay.
this incident happened in 2019. We moved into 2020 where there were a lot of conversations about it. But effectively, more than a year that we are looking at now. Now, if you move beyond this, there's also the further recommendation that one Colonel Opoku be made to immediately release the weapons used for, as well as the personnel involved in the operation, to enable ballistic testing and analysis to be undertaken and for the further investigation by the police. The committee took note of this and referred the same to the CID. We understand this has not been done. Neither the personnel on the ballistic test has been done, and reports sent to the authorities required to work with them. Linked to this is another very important one, and that's to do with compensation. Because, as I said, they are institutional, they are individual, and also there are compensations that were specifically recommendation made in that direction. The commission recommended the payment of financial compensation to the following persons on the basis of injuries they sustained arising out of the reckless, that's the commission say, reckless gunshots by the SWAT team. They were Mr. Theophilus Sedofu, Seydou Zane, James Moore, Muhammad Al-Hassan, and Ishau Jaro. Now, we have checked with not all the 5, with the exception of Theophilus Sedofu. None of these gentlemen have been given any compensation. Now, this is what the government said. Maybe that will clarify it. The government said that, in principle, it accepts this recommendation on the basis that the injured persons were unfortunately caught up in a legitimate national security operation. I hope you get the difference. So the commission sends the signal that there were reckless gunshots by the SWAT team. Now, the government, in accepting this, said they are doing so on the basis that they were unfortunately caught up in a legitimate national security operation. But, however, the commission failed to provide an assessment of the injuries sustained or make recommendations on the quantum of compensation that were to be paid to the injured persons. Now, as I've told you, no compensation has been paid to the injured persons. There's another category of people who were supposed to be given compensation. That category is those who had properties destroyed. And the commission recommended payment of compensation to the following persons for damage to their properties. There's the owner of the vehicle with model with number registration GE384417. Owner of Kia Picanto vehicle registration 104517. The only time they mention the name in the property one is Mrs. Justine Shea. She's the owner of a beauty salon which is bordering the road where the incident happened. Personally spoken and going to Mrs. Justine Shea's end, nothing, in fact, she gets angry when she's talking about how virtually everybody is asking her about how she's going to go back to normal, and yet nothing has been done for her in this case. Now, maybe the answer is in the government's response. The government, in principle, accepts the commission's recommendation, and on the same basis that they were caught up in during a legitimate national security operation. Again, however, the commission failed, and made it clear to provide an assessment of the damage to those properties and make recommendations on the quantum of compensation to be paid to the owners of those properties, which owners are identified in the report. Now, it continues to say that the government therefore refers the recommendation on compensation to the Attorney General for assessment and payment of compensation, if any.
So
now, yes.
Just
so
to clarify, they decided that the government decided that they will let the Attorney General decide.
Yes.
On assessing the matter, whether and how much.
Yes.
Or whether or how much, because he may decide not to. But if he decides to,
that's
then
true.
How much to compensate
the people in this category?
Okay.
I mean, and it is in twofold. The first category, the second compensation has to be paid. The second category is where the Attorney General will do the determination. Yes. Now, one point here is that, as I've told you, Mrs. Justice says no PESWA has been given her, even though consistently the current Member of Parliament and others have come to basically, not commiserate, but actually to express their disappointment in the current situation. Nothing has been done.
Who was the Attorney General at the time?
This, at the time of the report being published, is Gloria Akufo.
Gloria Akufo.
This is the last government tenure.
Okay.
But of course, I mean, we've been trying to reach out to the current Attorney General, who's not been forthcoming with information on the current situation. Now, these are specific individual liabilities. There's more to what was supposed to be done under these sections. Maybe when I move to the section where they talk about institutional requirements and what ought to be done to the institution, it will put the earlier conversation about what has happened in proper perspective. Structurally, the commission recommended that the president should review and restructure the Ministry of National Security with a view to ensuring clarity of responsibilities and roles as well as the lines of reporting. So this was directly sent to the president to ensure a review and a restructuring of the Ministry of National Security with the one sole aim of ensuring that there's clarity of the responsibilities. Now, the white paper accepted this recommendation and promised to refer same to the National Security Council for consideration. And the president chairs this particular council. Now, this particular recommendation was not one of those recommendations that was fully accepted. And it was partially accepted. Of course, government rejected the finding that there's a lack of clarity on the responsibilities and the roles as well as lines of reporting within national security. And that is the current status we still find in national security prior to, during, and after the recommendation was given and the white paper's commentary on it. Operationally, there was the recommendation that as a matter of urgency, the police and national security establishment develop protocols for the assessment and rating of intelligence received and subsequent deployment of mission, intelligence reception and deployment of mission. The protocols ought to be developed so they can collaborate further. This was because the finding of the committee was that's the Commission of Inquiry, that the intelligence that led to going to the area to go and look for arms was not properly based. It was not grounded. It was actually not strong intelligence. So they should develop proper protocols so that they can deal with this properly. Government accepted this and added that its implementation will boost efficiency of national security. We understand that there was a committee that was put together, National Security Committee, subcommittee, small one, with responsibility to make sure that all the intelligence leads get to review their protocols and improve upon it. So that is how it is being implemented. Yes. Now, there's also another one that was accepted in parts, which is the Commission's recommendation that the SWAT teams and police officers deployed to maintain peace and order on electoral grounds must have rigorous training in crowd control, arrest, and perimeter security for both the ongoing national security exercises and for allied security issues that may emerge in the future. Now, this was accepted in part, but we understand that all that has happened is the training that was received prior to election 2020. The training of these teams for election 2030, that's what has happened. And this largely because government believes that the SWAT team was not even deployed for Ayawaso West Wuogon. That was government's response, that the SWAT team was not deployed for Ayawaso West Wuogon. Indeed, if you check, yes, the look on your faces, that was government's response in this.
I'm very confused because I think I heard the testimony.
Yes.
At the commission. I heard Azugu.
Yeah, but
I heard double.
Yes, government's white paper states that the SWAT team was not deployed. Now, the commission also recommended that standard rules and procedures for the issuance of weapons and ammunition to police officers and operatives of the national security who are sent on missions and accompanying rules of accountability for those weapons should be enforced.
Wait, Raymond.
Yes.
Let's go back. Government says the SWAT team was not deployed.
Yes, that's why it partially accepted
this.
this.
The people we saw, I mean, in the photograph behind you, for those of you who are watching us on social media, the photograph behind you was taken on the day.
Yeah.
These people are not the SWAT team.
The people with the national
in
security
khaki and laptop
yes.
with national security written. They are not the SWAT team. That's what government is telling us.
Government says SWAT team was not deployed.
So does that mean they went on their own volition? Is that what they mean? Of their own volition? Is that what they mean?
It was not in the report, as in the government's white paper. The indication was not there. And that was not given at all. So that is actually what's happened to that recommendation too.
Right.
I'm skipping those ones that, in fairness, we could not get the, contrary to their promise, for them to give us an indication when or how they have come with this particular one. Now, there was a recommendation for specifically the individuals who were involved. The commission recommended there's a need to criminalize the very existence of all vigilante groups and recommended legislation. We all know that as of the time that the commission was sitting, there was also a concurrent conversation in Parliament about, by the time the commission put out this report, we had already gotten the Vigilantism and Related Offences Act in place. So it was really moot and dead on arrival. Now, the commission also recommended the opening of criminal investigations into circulation of posters. We understand only that the government has proceeded with national security to hunt for those who put out these posters, which are looking for specific people to prosecute anyway.
Right. Okay. When we come back, there's a part of what you've told us that I think we should take further, and that's the issue of compensation.
Yes.
It does bother me that people would have been so badly affected by what happened at Ayawaso West Wuogon. The government would agree to compensate them through the Attorney General's office doing an assessment, and for nothing to have happened. So we'll see if we can speak to one of the people who was supposed to have been compensated according to the report, and then we'll take it from there when we return.
Morning Show. The cousin that hogs all the food. The relative who's always late. The brother who's always on the phone.
Hello, let me call you right back.
The niece who's allergic to everything.
No, thank you. I'm allergic.
The work buddy that finishes the last of the Coca-Cola. We all know one, but meals wouldn't be the same without them. Savor moments together with Coca-Cola. This advert is FDA approved.
Melcom, your #1 supermarket, now bigger and better. With over 40,000 items under one roof, ranging from electricals, homeware, kitchenware, furniture, home decor, electronics, supermarket, and groceries. Your shopping experience just got better. Hooray! Melcom, your one-stop supermarket for all your daily needs. But remember, terms and conditions apply. Melcom, where Ghana shops.
Your office they shine. Oh.
Yes, so I tell you say for proper and modern ceiling solutions, the answer be Interface Limited. Them get in stock acoustic ceilings where you go fit make your office fine like my own.
Or even better pass your own self.
We can't better pass my own.
Shall I go Interface right now?
Interface Limited is the leading supplier and installer of finishing input materials for the building and construction industry in Ghana. Call us on 0274-999999 or visit our website at
www.interfacelimited.net. Facebook, Interface Limited GH. Instagram, interface.limited.
Just like moms know what to do in every situation, you can trust Fortune Rice for all your rice meals. It needs just a little water. The grains don't stick and the aroma and taste are delicious.
Fortune Rice is all we need. Just like mom.
Fortune Rice, always on point, just like mom. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
What would you do if you have the choice to do anything in life? Build your dream house, take very good care of your family, and plan for a comfortable retirement. Plan a befitting funeral for your loved ones when they depart. How would you live if you knew there was a friend waiting to support you on all of your life's choices?
You have such a friend in Glyco Life Insurance. Glyco Life has all the plans to meet your life's needs. Your child's education, your life savings, your mortgage, funerals, redundancy, and your retirement, and takes the burden off your shoulders. So go ahead and live life to the fullest today with Glyco Life Insurance plans. And remember that all our policies are hedged against inflation. Talk to Glyco Life on 0302 218 500 or 246 142. Also visit our website at www.glycolife.com or any of our branches nationwide for more information.
Glycolife, we cushion you for life.
Glyco, we cushion you for life.
Syndicated Capital introduces the Silent Night range of luxury mattresses and pillows. And for the first time, the Silent Night pregnancy and nursing pillows, crafted to provide exceptional relief for your legs, belly, and back during pregnancy, as well as amazing back support feeding your baby. No more sleepless nights and no more hustle with breastfeeding. Check out the Super Pillow Top Orthopedic Mattress, made with 12 inches of memory foam cushioning, providing unparalleled comfort and guaranteed to last for 20 years. No mattress comes close in comfort and support. Also available are high-quality bird sheets, reversible quills, a large collection of orthopedic pillows and luxurious towels at unbelievable prices. Silent Night products are available at all Melcom shops, game stores, and Silent Night showrooms at Tema, Asylum Down, Adenta, Spintex Road, and Kumasi behind Minshia Palace, or call 0302 242532 or 050 131 5776. Silent Night. Sleep like never before.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
I am representing for all of humanity, for ordinary people, the working class, and all of the ghetto youth. I want to them lead a day with them tallest a manifesto. Me no know them I like to come see them there. Why them dress up in a suit and tie, suit and tie.
Joy
Me no see nothing I want. Them dress up in a suit and tie, suit and tie. Me no see nothing I want. Them dress up in a suit and tie, suit and tie. But me no see nothing I want. See them dress up in a suit and tie, suit and tie. But me no see nothing I want. They look very nice, dressed in their suit and tie, but they're not satisfied. The deals they make and the contracts they verify. Leave the street terrified. I whole heap bag on the land, them bag of cocaine. Back up in a suitcase, we go on the plane. All in the name of political assignment, no resentment. And when the people them dress up in a suit and tie, suit and tie. But me no see no.
He's already here. He's in the building. Stone Boy joining us for breakfast on the Super Morning Show. Stay tuned. Make sure you don't miss a moment of that conversation when we get into it. Now, are you worried about the coronavirus? Well, Absa Bank cares about your safety. So use the Absa digital channels for your safe and convenient banking. Make instant money transfers, mobile money transfers, pay bills, buy airtime, make ATM cash deposits, make payments with your Absa Vertical card. Absa cares about you. So please remember to sanitize your hands before and after the use of any e-banking device. That is Africanacity. That is Absa.
Well, keep your thoughts coming to us, and your text messages on the Super Morning Show is brought to you by the Glyco Critical Illness Plan. GSIP, it's in your best interest to survive. And you know, at Glyco Life, we believe this is the time to protect your future with our life insurance policies. Now, our products are designed to offer you peace of mind, especially in this COVID-19 era. And so to our policyholders, your claims are very important to us, and we advise you to visit our offices or the Glyco Life website, glycolife.com, to lodge your claims for prompt service. We're surviving COVID-19 together, so please pay your premiums via your chosen mode of payment or by Momo on 0591 441 473 or by e-premium for micro insurance to safeguard your policies. Our call center team is ready to support you. So call us on 0202-222-113 for assistance, or contact us via our digital channels. We care for your safety. So all our offices are implementing the Ghana Health Services recommended COVID-19 protocols. Please practice social distance and keep safe, and trust Glyco Life to cushion you for life.
Now, being successful during tough times is a big deal. Buying a car is another big deal. But buying a brand new car at a heavily discounted price at this time of the year, that is a big deal. Premium Motors Limited, sole authorized partner of Renault in Ghana, presents the Renault Big Deal, introducing heavy discounts on your favorite Renault Kwid, Duster, Megane and Kadjar for you to commemorate Renault's global launch of its new emblem. Renault Kwid discounted from $11,000 to $9,200, a big discount. The Duster is down from $21,500 to a cool $18,500. The Megane, which is the premium sedan, is down from $25,500 to $22,500. And the Renault Kadjar, which is an SUV, is down from $35,500 to $31,500. With good fuel consumption and exciting safety and entertainment features, the Kwid, Duster, Megane and Kadjar are just what you need. Rush now to the Renault showroom at Atiku Junction on the Kanishie Odoko Road, or call 055-958-6412 for more details. The offer is valid until the 10th of June 2021. This is one day before my birthday. Terms and conditions apply. Renault, passion for life.
Well, as an investor, do you know there are several tax incentives that you can take advantage of to help grow your business? If you're curious to find out more, then join the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. in the second quarter CEO's breakfast meeting, which will be under the theme Understanding Ghana's Taxes and Exemptions Regime Towards Increasing Investor Confidence in the Business Environment. The event will be live on your favorite station, Joy 99.7 FM, and you can participate in a discussion via the GIPC social media platforms on Facebook at Ghana GIPC, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube at GIPC Ghana from 9:30 a.m. on the 25th of May. For further information, contact Kofi Manfo on 0203-284273 or send an email to events@gipc.gov.gh or kofi.manfo@gipc.gov.gh. Let's grow in Ghana and grow with Ghana.
Let's grow in Ghana and grow with Ghana. Now, before the break, we were talking about the Ayawas West Wuogon Commission's findings, trying to figure out whether indeed there may have been some potential solutions to all of this brutality we're seeing at the hands of national security. Now, we did note, as we were going through the recommendations and what government did about them, that one of the recommendations they accepted was to pay compensation to those in the community who were affected by the brutality on that day. Our attempts to find out whether that has happened have not all been fruitful. We have checked with some of those who were named as recipients of compensation, potential recipients of compensation. Apart from one of them, all of them have said no, they haven't received anything. We're seeking to find out the status of that arrangement with the Attorney General. We're yet to get that information. But joining us on the phone right now is Ishawu Yaru. Ishawu was there in the community. He was affected by what happened, and he was identified for compensation. Let's find out what he has to say about it. Ishawu, good morning. Hello, Yaro, good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Thank you for your time. So, you were injured on the day. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, good morning to you in the studio, and good morning to all of your viewers across the country. This is your brother, Ishawu Yaru, which people know him as Alhaji Baba.
Okay.
Back to your question. It's an by-election on 31st January 2019 at Ayawasu West Wuogon. Over there, all of us, I went there to observe what is going on that day. After some few minutes, I just saw some people just coming through towards our place with some ammo cars, dressing like a military, cover their faces. They just come towards that place. So before I realized, I can see warning shots on the air, flying all over. So I'm just running for my life. Before I saw, the gun has taken me. I just fall down. That is what happened for me on that day.
So you were hit in which part of your body?
I think towards the ankle.
Okay.
Down towards the ankle.
So what is the state of your injuries right now?
My brother, very bad. After that day, they took me to 37. I think I spent about 9 months in 37. I went theater, I think about 8 times for the same leg. As I'm speaking to you now, I'm still under treatment. Now I went to Koforidua to see some specialists. I'm under treatment now. As I'm speaking to you, about 2 years plus, I cannot put my leg on the ground. But now, I've been putting my leg little by little on the ground with the crutches, walking small, little by little. But as I'm speaking to you now, my leg is on table. I cannot put the leg down. So it's very bad. It's very bad to me. I sustained very, very massive injury.
How has it
Severe
affected
injury.
your work?
Come again?
How has it affected your work?
My brother, I'm a footballer, which I know that most of people in Ghana know me. They know they know my track record. I am footballer. I play African Stars, Afenia United, Real Sportive. It's on record. You see, my brother. So now, I just came back from India to play my professional football. I sustained some small injury. I just came back home to treat myself before this incident happened to me. So it has affected my life seriously. About 2 years, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going, I'm not coming. One place.
So have you received any compensation for what happened to you?
No, not yet. I haven't received anything.
Has anybody from government been communicating with you?
No, I haven't heard anything from the government. You know what is worrying me? Government of the day sets a committee to look inside the matter about what happened. A mission committee. After everything, they give the president the white paper about what happened, about our compensation, about the guy who slapped Sam George, and the one who shoot me. Up to date, we haven't heard anything from the government. We haven't seen anything from government. I don't know why the government said that the committee, because the government said the committee so that at the end of the day, government will take an action. Up to now, we haven't heard anything from government. It is not me alone. We are, I think, about 10 people which they have to compensate. Up to now, nobody has received anything.
So, Alhaji Baba, have you contacted government in all of this? Have you made any attempts to, reach the authorities and find out why you haven't heard from them?
No. I haven't done anything. Not yet. No.
Okay. Now, you talked about being a footballer, a professional footballer in India, sustaining an injury and coming back home. And now that you cannot go back to your football, how are you coping?
It's not easy, my brother. If you are in community, you are very nice with people. If something happens to you, you get some people in your community. They are those they used to help me and my families. They are those who are taking care of me. My bills in 37, because I've been paying. They pay money in 37, which I spent, I think, about 9 months. Up to now, I'm under admission. They are paying a lot of money, my brother. It's not easy. It's not easy. I just get good people, which I just touch their heart. They are helping me. It's not easy, my brother. It's not easy at all.
Ishau, thank you very much for your time, Alhaji Ishau Yaro.
Yeah, before I leave you, I just thank the former president, John Dramani Mahama. He used to help me about my bills and everything. I'm very grateful to him. Thank you.
Thank you too. Ishau Yaro is a former footballer injured during the Ayawaso West Wuogon brutalities and is yet to receive the compensation that the state was advised to give, which was supposed to be processed through the Attorney General's office. Okay, all right. Look, let's
maybe wrap up.
Yeah.
With some of these other recommendations which were accepted. The other one said the Commission recommended that standard rules and procedures for the issuance of weapons should be followed. It also recommended one thing that should be of interest to all of us. It says the Commission wants intelligence-based agencies operate under the law and guided by the fundamental human rights of citizens. In this vein, the Commission also recommends the operatives of the National Security Council should be trained to internalize human rights rules, including the provision on the fundamental human rights of the Constitution within their standard operating procedures.
So if these had been well, you say they were accepted.
This one, just all the ones I mentioned.
If these had been implemented, by now would we have national security operatives beating up Ghanaians?
Not at all. I mean, of course, if they follow the human rights principles, Caleb will not happen. The military man who was attacked in November will not happen. And we also know other incidents, stuff also happened along the line, will not happen anyway.
Churchill.
Well, it's obvious that if this had been done, we wouldn't be where we are today because, if you respect the human rights of people, you're not going to beat them up. What you do is just take his phone and he says, well, you can delete it. You delete it. You go look for Zoe, delete that video also. And that's the end of it. And this is one thing that, I'm happy we're raising because as part of the campaign, we must, get national security to understand. And the report talks about intelligence-based work. Okay? You are an intelligence gathering agency. And that is what you must do. I know there's been a conversation about having a force there. I mean, the campaign continues and we'll get to that force at the national security.
Indeed. So, this is an ongoing campaign. We're nowhere near the end of it. Now, we promised that we would talk a little bit more about the EC's reforms. Look, that is an extensive conversation. So I think we're making a decision that we'll bring that back next week because it's something that we really have to take our time and get into. We'll bring that conversation back next week. But you know what? After these next few messages, one guard, Stone Boy on the Super Morning Show. Stay with us.
Super Morning Show. Oka Dekwana. Your products in United Stronko. Home, outdoor and office furniture, kitchen and decor items, carpets, cushions, toys, and many more. Locate us off the Sprinters Road in Accra. Think home, think Oka.
The cousin that hogs all the food. The relative who's always late. The brother who's always on the phone.
Hello, let me call you right back.
The niece who's allergic to everything.
No, thank you. I'm allergic.
The work buddy that finishes the last of the